All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to talk about a fight prediction from PAULI Malignaggi about Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia, and how Ryan Garcia can annihilate Gervonta Tank Davis. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where Gervonta Davis will be fighting Ryan Garcia at 136 pounds coming up April 22nd. And there has been a litany of predictions made for the fight, and one came up that I thought was very, very interesting, and it was from a former Showtime commentator. I'm not sure where PAULI Malignaggi is right now. I think he's doing a show with Antonio Tarver and Roy Jones Jr., but he basically switches up his opinion on the fight heading into it. Now, before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support in the super thanks of videos like this, and in the live streams that we do basically Monday through Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which most people out there are not getting up for. But thank you for supporting. Let's get into this. PAULI Malignaggi is a former 147-pound fighter, a former commentator for Showtime Sports. Very, very knowledgeable about sport of boxing. I like listening to PAULI Malignaggi's takes on fights. As I like listening to PAULI Malignaggi as long as he doesn't start talking about social issues. Because with that, man, PAULI, hey, man, stick to boxing. But with all that aside, he talks about the Gervonta Davis versus Ryan Garcia fight. As you know, Gervonta and these guys are going to be fighting one another for no belts. However, for what is being advertised as the person that will become the face of boxing because of the fanfare around the fight. The fight is already sold out and is expected to have a gate in the top 10 biggest gates in the history of boxing. And a very, very entertaining fight, man. You got Gervonta Davis, who's a big power puncher. You got Ryan Garcia, that's a big power puncher. And so PAULI Malignaggi, up until the fight was made, was saying, no, I got Gervonta Davis in this fight because Gervonta Davis is, he's more experienced. He's been there before, where Ryan Garcia is more green. And he had predicted that Gervonta Davis would win the fight. He's now saying that he's not so sure because of how Gervonta Davis starts slowly and how he cannot afford to start slowly with Ryan Garcia. And if he does, and then he gets into the later rounds, Ryan Garcia is, with his power and his speed, has the ability to annihilate Gervonta Tank Davis, assumingly with one shot, right? So not the best, not the most scientific breakdown in the world out of PAULI Malignaggi. More just kind of like, looking at the obvious, which is that Ryan Garcia is long. Ryan Garcia is tall. Ryan Garcia has very fast hands. He also has a big punch, right? And as a result of that, Gervonta Davis, needs to make sure that he goes at him early. Now, the way that I see it is almost the opposite, because Ryan Garcia is going to have a lot of what Ryan Garcia has in the beginning of the fight. If you watch carefully the fight before last with Ryan Garcia, which was Emmanuel Togo, Ryan Garcia didn't have a lot left in the tank in the second half of the fight, especially about round 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The last 5 rounds of the fight, dude, his mouth was open, his hands were lower. Togo was feeling much more comfortable coming forward, hitting him with shots. Where in the first 8 rounds, Togo was more moving around, waiting for Ryan Garcia to come in and throw combinations at him, slipping some of the combinations, getting hit with a lot of those shots, right? But then later on in the fight is when he was able to come on and have better rounds against Ryan Garcia, right? I don't think that Gervonta Davis needs to fight any other way than Gervonta Davis always fights. And I will tell you this, Gervonta Davis does not always start slow. However, if somebody is a taller, longer guy and you're looking for your range, it does not make sense for you to basically just, go in, just walk in from the first round and start throwing a bunch of shots. You have to get your timing. You have to see what type of shots he's throwing, what combinations he's throwing, and get into the mix of the fight. Because at the end of the day, when you're somebody like Gervonta Davis and you have the ability to knock the guy out with a shot, you want to make sure that you give yourself the best opportunity to do it. Now, from Gervonta Davis's standpoint, what he said is he is going to take him into the later rounds and drown him. So I don't think that you're going to see anything other than Gervonta Davis taking his time in the beginning of the fight and figuring out exactly what in the best way to approach Ryan Garcia. Wait for Ryan Garcia to gas a little bit and then go at him. Ryan Garcia is somebody that does have very, very good power he has a very good power from outside, right? And at mid-range and outside. The question is, for me, is what is he able to do at close range? And would he be able to fight with Gervonta Davis at close range? And whenever Gervonta Davis gets to a place where he is at mid-range for himself, that mid-range for himself is close range for Ryan Garcia. So I think it's going to be a matter of positioning, and it's going to be a matter of Gervonta trying to neutralize that left hand of Ryan Garcia. We'll also see whether or not Gervonta Davis can take a shot from Ryan Garcia, because Ryan Garcia is going to hit him. Just like every other fight that you see in boxing, the guy gets hit. Like, been watching at least 12 rounds of boxing every day for the last couple of weeks. It's part of kind of like a personal challenge for me. I want to go back and watch as many of the historical fights and current fights that I missed as possible. And some of my favorite fights to have watched, period, right? Rewatch those. And it's amazing how many people say, oh, this guy got hit. This guy got hit. Oh, this guy would never hit him. He would never touch him. All of these guys get hit. Every single fight that I've seen from Floyd Mayweather Jr., with the exception of maybe Arturo Gatti, because I ain't gonna lie, Arturo Gatti wasn't really hitting on nothing with Floyd. However, the majority of these fights, or a fight like Muhammad Ali versus Big Cat Williams, very rarely do you see a fight where a world-class fighter is fighting another world-class fighter and he's not getting hit. Like, you could look at like Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Oscar De La Hoya, and how people keep saying, and have been saying ever since, Floyd won it. He won it with the jab. If you're rooting for the guy and you're looking for every time he lands a punch, then yeah, absolutely. You're going to see your guy landed punches and you're going to see what you want to see. The problem is can you see what's coming back at you? And I think Gervonta Davis has also said that about Ryan Garcia. Like, yeah, man, you're going to hit me. What are you going to do when it doesn't knock me out? Right? Like, what are you going to do when you hit me and it doesn't, and you don't hurt me? Then we're going to be and that's the thing I think that is the problem for Ryan Garcia. With Gervonta, the problem is going to be the length. It's going to be the perception of the crowd, more than likely. For Ryan Garcia, it's really going to be, what happens if you actually get into a serious fight, right? Because Ryan Garcia is yet to be in a 50-50 fight. And that's that similar to other people that have never been in 50-50 fights before, right? At the very least, with Gervonta and Ryan, this is a 50-50 fight. If you're a really big Ryan Garcia fan, that's what you should hope for. But this is Ryan's first time ever being in a good fight, ever being in a 50-50 fight. Gervonta Davis has been in many fights where people think, okay, it looks like he's down. This guy is throwing good shots. His rounds are close. He's been in a lot of close rounds. Ryan Garcia has barely been in any close rounds. So that's the adjustment I think is going to be interesting for Ryan Garcia. But I feel what Paulie Malignaggi is saying, without a doubt, and we'll see. because Ryan Garcia definitely has a lot of power. And if he tees off on Gervonta Davis's chin, hey, there's a chance, man. But there are guys that if you hit them, they don't go nowhere. And then the issue is, what are you going to do with that? You know what I mean? Anyway, it is what it is. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.